the introduction of Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, there are some interesting new options for M365 users to engage with Microsoft's AI, even if you haven't been allocated one of those premium Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses, adding availability of agents, even to free users, pay-as-you-go access to a broad range of premium features, and more clarity around a pricing model that has been a little fluffy to understand. Microsoft has again realigned its AI services in a positive direction, albeit with another moderately confusing name alteration. So let's look at what has been announced and what are the key differences between being a user of Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat and the full Microsoft 365 Copilot. But first, an introduction. My name is Nick DeCourcy. I'm the owner of a digital transformation consulting company called Bright Ideas Agency, and I specialise in helping smaller businesses get the best from Microsoft's Copilot and AI technologies. To find out more about me and how I can help you, check out some of the links down below. You could definitely be forgiven for hearing that Microsoft has announced Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat and thinking, firstly, that we're just addressing a component of the paid Microsoft 365 Copilot, and second, I'm just using yet another new name for BizChat, or previously Microsoft Copilot with Graph Grounded Chat. But no, the new Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat is actually a new name for what was previously Bing Chat Enterprise, or then Microsoft Copilot with Enterprise Data Protection, and is a product offered to all users with an Entra ID or work or school account, so virtually any type of Microsoft Business or Enterprise SaaS subscription, rather than those who have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. The wisdom of this clearly confusing naming aside, this goes beyond just a naming change to some really important product changes that make the free AI offering for Microsoft 365 users more compelling, and with some metered pay-as-you-go additions offer the potential for a more tailored experience without the ongoing cost of a full Microsoft 365 Copilot license. This breakdown of the Microsoft 365 Copilot versus Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat makes the differences very clear, but I'm sure the most interesting part of this table is just how much crossover there now is between these two offerings. Both give you access to GPT 4.0, which is the default model now used by ChatGPT, but not their latest model 0.1, which you get limited access to depending on your subscription tier with OpenAI. Both get access to Copilot pages, file upload, albeit currently with a slightly different experience, and new features like code interpreter or image generation. If you're interested in finding out more about features like Copilot pages or code interpreter, I'll drop links to my videos about those down below. So there's a lot that's very similar, but what are the key differences that you should understand? To use Copilot in the Microsoft 365 apps, you need to have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. And by that I mean features like creating content in Word or the narrative builder for slide decks in PowerPoint. Additionally, while you can now access agents both with Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat for free and Microsoft 365 Copilot as a paid license feature, their capabilities are different unless you enable pay-as-you-go access. Agents that consist of basic instructions and web grounding are included in both tiers. Interestingly though, Microsoft's first-party demo agents like Prompt Coach were not available in the free tier when I tested this at time of recording. If you want more capabilities for your agents, then you can turn on pay-as-you-go. Those additional metered options allow you to ground your agents in business data on the free tier, or add autonomous agents to both the free and paid Microsoft 365 Copilot tier. This is absolutely great, and something I know many have been looking forward to. However, from here, the news gets a little less promising. I know many had seen the 1 penny per message pay-as-you-go rates, and rejoiced at the idea that for heavy users of pay-as-you-go agents, the flip-over point where it would make more sense to buy a Microsoft 365 Copilot license for a user wouldn't be until they'd consumed around 3,000 messages in a month, or nearly 140 per business day. But as part of the announcement, Microsoft published this pricing list for pay-as-you-go agentic capabilities, and you'll quickly note the only type of interaction that costs just one message is classic answers. The tiers increase up to a rather staggering 30 messages or 30 cents for graph grounding. That means that for people who saw pay-as-you-go agents as an inexpensive way to get basic Microsoft 365 Copilot features without needing long-term licenses, in many cases that flip-over point where it makes sense just to buy the license reduces from 140 interactions per day to just 4. If you're finding this video useful, it would be great if you'd hit the like button and leave a comment to help it get in front of more interested people. Also, if you'd like to see more like this, please do subscribe to the channel. Now bear in mind that this is outlined per message, so each time an agent reaches out to grounding data in Microsoft 365, as I'm understanding this, your pay-as-you-go account or message credits will be billed 30 messages. What is less clear is how conversational chaining impacts this. What do I mean by that? Well, in BizChat, and bear with me because it's easiest to demo this in BizChat, but the same logic applies to an agent. I might ground an initial request in a file in Microsoft 365, or in an agent this would be the result of an index search, but with the same type of output. So that initial request consumes 30 messages. But then I ask a follow-up question. So at this point, what is the billing logic? Is the follow-up a free request because the relevant content is already in the chat's context, or does Copilot actually, on the back end, grab the content again? Because the way the orchestration model and RAG within Copilot works is a little opaque, I'm not sure I know the answer. So a dialogue with an agent referencing a single file or group of files may cost 30 messages, or if the back and forth is 5 total requests and responses, may cost 150 messages. I'm just not sure. And then there are questions about things like generative or classic answers. These are concepts exposed in a full Copilot Studio, not in the context of the declarative agents you can build with the BizChat Agent Builder, nor the builder experience in SharePoint. I simply don't have access to topic management in these more basic builders, and so far as I'm aware, we still do not have the ability to expose full Copilot Studio custom agents in the Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat or BizChat experiences. So again, this strikes me as somewhat confusing. I'm sure this will all work out in time, but for the crystal clarity many of us were looking for on this issue, this set of announcements, in my opinion, isn't sufficient. There are too many combinations and permutations related to Copilot and Copilot agents with clear practical differences that are practically ignored in documentation, and this is something that in my view needs to be resolved quickly. At the most basic level, your takeaway on this should be that it appears that metered access to agents, whether that's for free Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat users or for autonomous agents for either free tier or Microsoft 365 Copilot license users, will potentially add up much more quickly than the headline "a penny a message price" suggests. These are still appealing solutions and will make sense for many businesses, but given that some of these features will cost at least 30 times what had been imagined, you should be conscious of the need to budget appropriately. There's one last reason why free access plus some pay-as-you-go might be less appealing versus Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses, and that's the Copilot control system. Both tiers include some controls and basics that have been there a while, like enterprise data protection. But what has been learned over the last year is that for many organisations, what is needed to feel totally in control and on top of Copilot is a lot more than what is built into Microsoft 365 by default. It's for this reason that SharePoint Advanced Management, an add-on that normally costs $3 per user per month, has been rolled in with Microsoft 365 Copilot, as well as a range of reporting options to understand use. Those are not included with the free tier, but might be critical to you understanding how AI is being used across your organisation and how your data is interacting with it. Be conscious if you're making a decision because of price that you're not leaving essential security or reporting on the table. Overall, Copilot continues to move in a positive direction, and more AI features for free in more users' hands gives you more capacity to avoid the pitfalls of shadow AI within your organisation. And remember, if you're concerned about shadow AI, you might also want to think about other aspects of responsible AI use. Take a look at my new on-demand course, Responsible AI for Business Users, linked in the description. However, while announcements that provide clarity are appreciated, I think these topics are currently moving so fast that even more information is needed to fully understand the impact of changes like pay-as-you-go agents. And sometimes this feeling of information needing to catch up with product leads to unflattering criticisms of Microsoft that are largely unwarranted. What do you think of these announcements? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching through to the end. This video looks a little different as I'm currently in the UK and only some of my studio setup made it with me on the road. Thanks for your support of the channel. Until the next video, bye bye.